Let me ask you something weird. What if all your tools disappeared tomorrow? Your screwdriver, your wrench, your power drill, gone. Could you build anything with your own hands, from scratch? In a world so deeply dependent on ready-made everything, we rarely ask this question. But the people of the Ottoman Empire didn't have the luxury of walking into a hardware store. And yet, they built, repaired, crafted, survived, all with their own hands and just a few handmade tools. So what were these tools? Could you, sitting at home today, actually build them? And more importantly, could you use them? In this video, we're going to look at 3 essential handmade Ottoman tools. Tools that didn't require modern machines, plastic, or electricity to create. We'll explore how they were made, what materials were used, and how you could possibly make a version at home. This is more than just history. It's a DIY challenge straight from the past. If you're into off-grid survival, traditional skills, or just love the idea of crafting something real with your bare hands, hit that like button and subscribe. Because this is the kind of practical ancient knowledge you won't find in textbooks. Let's start with something simple but powerful, the Ottoman drawknife, known back then as a çekiç. It was basically 2 handles with a blade stretched between them, designed to strip bark, shape wood, or carve curves into beams and bows. This humble tool helped build carts, shape yokes, and even fine-tune arrow shafts. In the Ottoman villages, young boys learned to use the drawknife before they even learned to write. A blacksmith would forge the blade, usually repurposing iron from older tools, and a local woodworker would craft the 2 handles from beech or walnut. The parts were fastened with wooden pins or twisted iron rivets, then sharpened on a sandstone wheel. No plastic, no rubber grips, just wood, metal, and precision. Now, can you make one of these at home today? Actually, yes. If you've got an old flat steel file, a hacksaw, and access to a fire or blowtorch, you could shape the metal into a basic blade. 2 wooden handles can be cut from a chair leg or branch, then bolted on. It won't be museum quality, but it'll slice through soft pine or dry bark just fine. But here's the magic. Once you make your own drawknife, you'll look at wood differently. You'll feel the grain. You'll understand how a tree becomes a tool. And that's a kind of wisdom you can't buy. Our second tool might surprise you. The Ottoman bellows, or as they called it, kuruk. Not glamorous, not shiny, but absolutely essential for blacksmithing, pottery, glasswork, any trade that required fire hotter than what a campfire can give. The traditional Ottoman bellows was made of leather, wood, and animal bone. Yes, bone. The leather would be stretched tight between 2 semicircular wood boards, often made from poplar or plane tree. Goat skin was preferred. It was flexible but tough. The nozzles were sometimes carved from ox horn or shaped from copper. Then came the lungs. 2 compartments connected by a flap pumped in rhythm to shoot air into the forge. Apprentices would often spend months just learning how to operate the bellows properly. That's how vital it was to the entire shop. Making a bellows at home isn't easy, but it's not impossible. You can use plywood instead of hardwood, synthetic leather if you can't get the real thing, and PVC pipe for the nozzle. What matters is the airflow. Can you compress and direct enough air to intensify fire? If you manage to build one, even a mini version, try it on a backyard fire pit. The difference it makes in flame strength is immediate. You'll see why Ottoman metalworkers considered it their secret weapon. Before we get to the third tool, take a second to think about this. Which of these would you try to build? Would you risk your fingertips for a hand-forged knife? Could you craft airflow like a blacksmith? Tell me in the comments. And if you're enjoying this dive into Ottoman DIY culture, don't forget to like the video. It helps more people find this kind of content. Now, the third and final tool is elegant, versatile, and timeless. The Ottoman string compass, or pergel. Used not just by architects and engineers, but by artisans, calligraphers, carpet weavers. It wasn't just about drawing circles. It was about symmetry, geometry, and measurement, all without a ruler. The basic design? A thin rod of wood, about 30 to 50 centimeters, with a movable peg on one side and a fixed nail or stylus on the other. A string could be tied between 2 points to adjust radius. Some compasses even had adjustable arms made of bone or brass for precision in architecture. The secret lay in the hand, how you held it, the pressure you applied, and your understanding of proportion. In Ottoman schools, young students learned basic math, not on paper, but in sand, using a stick and a string compass. Geometry was something you felt, not memorized. Isn't that beautiful? Now, could you make one at home? Absolutely. In fact, grab a chopstick, a thumbtack, and some thread. You've got a basic compass right there. Want to level up? Carve 2 matching sticks, add notches, and use a pencil instead of a stylus. With some patience, you can make one that rivals anything you'd find in a medieval workshop. But here's the bigger lesson. The Ottoman compass wasn't just a measuring device. It was the symbol of order, of learning, of balance. You weren't just building things, you were shaping space. Even the act of making a compass taught humility and focus. And isn't that something we all could use a little more of? So let's step back and ask, what do these 3 tools have in common? They were made with 0 electricity, built from natural materials, repaired instead of replaced, taught generation to generation, designed to outlive the person who made them. Now let's compare that to today. Our tools are shiny, fast, disposable. When they break, we toss them. When they wear out, we upgrade. But in the Ottoman world, making a tool was a ritual. It connected you to the earth, to your trade, and to the people who taught you. Imagine that, a world where every object in your hand has a story. So could you survive without modern tools? Could you build your own drawknife, bellows, or compass? Maybe not perfectly. But here's the thing, it's not about perfection. It's about the mindset, learning how people in the past made their world, without machines, without plastic, without YouTube tutorials. Teaches us something deeper. It reminds us that we are capable, that with our hands, some patience, and a little fire, we can still make something useful, something beautiful, something real. Let me know in the comments, which of these tools would you want to try building? Or do you already make things by hand? Share your tips, your fails, your victories. This channel isn't just a lecture, it's a workshop of minds. And if you want more DIY history, more forgotten tools, more ways to reconnect with human skill, then subscribe. We've got blacksmith secrets, Ottoman cooking hacks, ancient insulation tricks, and so much more coming up. Until next time, put down your phone, pick up some wood, and remember, every great tool started as a simple idea and a willing hand.